Am I the idiot for not telling my soon-to-be ex-husband that the girl that he left me for has already cheated on him? So here's a little backstory. My ex left me for his best friend last year around April after nearly 15 years together and 11 years of marriage. In the beginning was the typical story of we've grown apart and he didn't want to move to the state that I moved to start getting our new life together and ready for when he was ready to move. He initially said it was because he didn't want to leave his parents behind with his dad being terminally ill with prostate cancer, and his mom wouldn't want to move after he passed. But I immediately knew it was his female best friend who was pushing for this because of some red flag conversations we had been having months before when he visited me in the state I moved to in January. I caught him lying to her about where he was and asked him why she didn't know that he was here visiting me because we were all friends at the time. He told me that it was because she was judgy and didn't want to deal with her being snarky towards him. I asked why would she be judgy when she knows that we are working on our marriage long distance while we wait for the perfect house to come up and us to get everything ready after we had sold our home in CA the summer before. He just said she would judge regardless and then was very careful of how his phone faced afterwards. I had also caught her making comments on his IG posts about my dog and him being her big boys, and a few other remarks and actions that made me and her at the time boyfriend uncomfortable. She is also a serial cheater BTW. Well, fast forward to early April and he calls me one morning and says that he doesn't want to move and thinks we should separate. I asked him if it was because of her. He said no and that he had been seeing a therapist and wasn't happy anymore with me and didn't think he loved me anymore, but needed time to figure it out. Now here's the thing. We talked on the phone every night from the moment he got off of work till we would fall asleep on the phone together, and I would wake him up in the morning when I had to go into work. There was literally no time for these 2-hour therapy sessions that he was supposedly doing over the phone. Fast forward another month of almost zero contact and he says he wants a divorce. I bring up the fact that his best friend is not a marriage counselor and has been making several posts hinting that there was already a relationship between them. He said my perception wasn't his problem and he was done. Not even a month later and she announces they're in a relationship after both blocked me to keep their secrets. Another month later and they're engaged. Mind you, in the photo that was posted on my birthday, which was during the time that we weren't talking while he decided, he was already wearing a black wedding band, which was her toxic claim on him. Now to the cheater cheating on the cheater. A friend of mine reached out to me nearly a year later asking who my ex was dating. I told him the story and he said that he knew her. I asked him how because he knows a lot of people in our old hometown. He said that she was hooking up with a buddy of his. Apparently back in January or February of this year she showed up to a couple of events or parties that my friend was at, and was glued to his buddy and even went to hook up during one of the parties with his friend. My ex and this girl have been together since at least April of last year and she was hooking up with some dude just a few months ago. So all this news actually gives me a lot of satisfaction because the serial cheater finally got a dose of his own toxic medicine. I don't know if I want to tell him or not. Part of me wants to just let the karma roll out in its own time. The other part of me wants to tell him to ask her about some dude named Jay from Idaho and to make sure he pays attention to her face dropping because I have all of the receipts at this point. I unfortunately have to see him sometime soon to finalize our divorce, but do I just let it ride and let him find out on his own? More context about our marriage is that I stayed through multiple affairs of his and years of abuse and manipulation. I'm talking everything but physical abuse. He blames me for ruining our marriage because in 2020 I wanted a separation/divorce because I had found out about yet another affair and I was tired of the constant neglect and abuse. In the end we ended up staying together because I thought he was the person I wanted to grow old with and hadn't come to the realization yet that I was being gaslit and manipulated like always. So we stopped the divorce and stayed together even through me moving to another state to help my parents get their new property set up. Comment 1. Personally, I'd wait until the judge officially granted the divorce and then, as I left the courtroom, I'd look at him and say, "Oh, you might want to ask other woman how long she's been fucking a fair partner. From what I hear, he's been stepping up to fulfill all her needs since you can't." Then I'd just walk away. But I'm a petty bitch, so. Comment 2. Honestly, it always is. So many Reddit posts about women being jealous of SO's female best friend, and everyone dumps all over her about how men are capable of having friends of the opposite sex, If you don't trust him, why are you with him? You're just insecure, etc. But so many posts like this one are the reason women are insecure with their female best friend. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for cheating with my best friend's BF while drunk? Basically, I, 20F, got drunk with my best friend and her boyfriend. My best friend got sick from the alcohol and she went to sleep. Me and her BF kept drinking and I blacked out. I remember us taking a shot and kissing in the bed, but not vividly. These memories are more like a couple of hazy screenshots. When I woke up, I was trying to put the whole picture together, and at first I thought these screenshots were just dreams because they felt surreal, so I brushed it off at first. Later that day I kept thinking about the screenshots and realized that they are too real to be dreams, so I sent a message to my friend to ask her BF to confirm if this has happened or not. She asked him and turns out it did happen. We talked it out with my friend. I was happy that she didn't create big drama out of the situation and everything went on fine after that. But I am still wondering, was I the asshole for this situation? The last memories were blurry and I feel like he was forcing me alcohol. We have partied with him before, and he has always tried to get me drunk. Although I don't take the blame away from myself because I can get assertive when drunk, it might have been my fault as I succumbed to my natural instincts due to the alcohol. After some time I confronted him about this, he said he can't explain why it happened and we were just both drunk. I still don't feel responsibility for this situation because I don't feel that I had made the decision to do this. I feel like this action comes from a completely different person, because I would never put a guy above my relationship with this friend. Please don't tell me that it's my responsibility to not get this drunk. I know this is the common answer. No one plans on getting blackout drunk, it's something that can just happen. When you start drinking, the drunk brain takes over and sometimes the night takes you away. There is little reasoning in the drunk brain. I certainly didn't plan on getting blacked out and cheating with my best friend's BF. Additionally, what is your opinion on how we should go on? I mean, we have always partied together with my best friend, but if she takes her boyfriend along, this kind of thing might happen again, because how can it not, if we get way too drunk accidentally again? Clearly all of us have very little self-control. Continuing to get drunk together and hoping it won't happen again is like wishing on a star. Need a constructive solution to this, and stopping partying completely is also not a solution, since we are young and we want to party. Also not a solution for them to break up. Somehow I truly feel that they love each other and can't go on without each other. They have been together for 3 years, there has been ups and downs, but they have always reached a solution and stayed together. Comment 1. Please don't tell me that it's my responsibility to not get this drunk. I know this is the common answer. No one plans on getting blackout drunk, it's something that can just happen. Here's the thing, it is your responsibility not to get drunk and fool around with your friend's boyfriend. That's how personal accountability works. That's the same shit you hear from alcoholics, and I know because I've been in recovery for like 16 years. You don't want to do it again, then you are responsible for simply not fucking doing it again. Everyone sucks here, but you're the asshole for refusing to take responsibility for it. Comment 2. If he had tried to get you drunk before, this is not normal, you should have left earlier, with your friend. You're saying something like, I cheated on my best friend, but that's okay, I was drunk. If it were the other way around, how would you feel? If I was your friend, I would have cut you and my boyfriend. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for wanting to divorce my husband for trying to cheat? I, 30F, have been married to my husband for almost 7 years. 4 years ago, I was looking through my husband's phone to find a recipe that he wanted me to make that he had his sister-in-law send him. Honest. Our phones were never something we kept from each other, and he would often play on my phone looking at pictures of our kids and stuff. While looking for the message from my SIL, I saw messages from a woman I was constantly getting friend recommendations for. I thought it was one of his cousins because his family is large and doesn't stay in touch very well. I clicked on the message and found that she was actually a former coworker, and the last message he sent was him confessing his feelings for her and her nicely telling him she had known for a while but wasn't interested. Apparently, he had been very flirty at work. He worked closely with 2 of my family members at the time. After that, I went through his pictures and found nudes of several women. I started to cry and confronted him. He deleted everything and tried to act like I was crazy and making it up. He later admitted that what I saw was true. We agreed to try to make things work since nothing came of his confession to this woman and we have children together. I was an emotional mess at this point. Fast forward 2.5 years and my husband works someplace else. One morning I get messages from a guy sending me screenshots of this guy's girlfriend texting my husband talking about cute nicknames for each other and warning my husband that her boyfriend found out about them and was going to warn me. I showed my husband and again he deleted everything and tried to act like I was overreacting, saying that they worked together and were just friendly. At this point I didn't really react. A couple days later the girl messages me saying that my husband had kissed her multiple times and things were far from just friendly. I blocked her and I told my husband that I'm inclined to believe her even though he insists that she is lying. I have no idea if there's been other women. For years my husband didn't drive and I had to take him everywhere, so I don't think he's cheated more than what I've found. He doesn't feel like these 2 times are really cheating because nothing ever came to fruition, but I feel like the nudes, which he claims he got online, and the messages that he deleted are cheating enough. I've been trying to let it go, but I'm constantly thinking about it and wondering how stupid I must look to him. I want a divorce so bad, but I'm worried it will destroy our kids. I don't think my husband will make a point to be in their lives if we divorce. It hurts so bad that he would do this. He was my best friend for a while before we got together. I feel like I've lost everything from him and I can't move on. Comment 1. Also, OP is worried about divorce destroying the kids. I feel like if she stays, her kids will watch the destruction of their mother's sanity, and that seems much worse of an outcome. I'd much rather divorce and comfort my children, whilst knowing the foundation of my life isn't hanging on a man's decision to be faithful or not. Comment 2. I'm a man and I have never cheated on a woman. My friends say I'm lying, but I'm not. I'm a man and if I feel the need to cheat in someone, I'll just end it with them. It wouldn't be fair to her to add insult to injury. So, it's time to find a man who understands and respects the boundaries of a relationship. Ask him if you can schedule a lie detector test for him. His reaction will tell you if he's cheated or not. Anyone who haven't cheated would say go for it. Cheaters will make excuses as to why a lie detector test is not a good idea. They will say that they are not accurate, or say you must be projecting so you must be cheating, or get angry that you don't trust him. So, just ask for him to get one and see what his response is. A polygraph test is about 87% accurate, but you don't actually need to get it. You just need to see his response.